Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on something we all use but maybe don't fully understand: Windows telemetry. We're going to break down exactly what data is being sent from your machine, where it's actually going, and, most importantly, how you can reclaim control over your own hardware. If you're someone who values your digital privacy, or honestly, if you're just a bit curious about what your computer is whispering to the cloud while you're just sitting there working, you are in the exact right place. So, let's jump right in.
Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when you open up your Windows settings, click over to Privacy and Security, and carefully flip that diagnostic data switch to off? You probably breathe a sigh of relief, right? Like, phew, glad that's sorted. Well, the research reveals a really surprising truth here. Almost nothing happens. Or more accurately, nothing foundational happens. Windows telemetry isn't just a simple single switch you can flip. It's actually a deeply integrated two-tier system. And that toggle you see in the user interface, it kind of just gives you the illusion of complete control. To understand why it's an illusion, we have to look at the crucial difference between the two tiers of data collection. On one hand, we've got optional data. This is the richer, behavioral stuff: your app usage patterns, how you interact with features, even site visits inside Microsoft-branded components. When you turn off the toggle in your settings, this is the stuff you're actually stopping. But then, there's the required data. This tier includes your device's hardware specs, driver versions, OS build history, and crash dumps. And here's the kicker: this baseline data flows continuously, completely regardless of what you set that toggle to in the UI. So what's the actual engine driving this continuous flow of data? Enter DiagTrack. Formally, it's known as the Connected User Experiences and Telemetry Service, but this underlying daemon is what's really running the show. And the absolute most crucial point here is that DiagTrack operates entirely independently of those user-facing settings we just talked about. Toggling optional diagnostic data to off, that does absolutely nothing to stop the DiagTrack service from running in the background. It doesn't remove the service, and it certainly doesn't stop your machine's hardware specs or unique identifiers from being beamed out. It is the silent worker that is literally always on the clock.
Now, if you're a power user, you might be sitting there thinking, well, I'll just bypass the settings menu entirely and dig straight into the registry, force it off with a policy-level control. You might go in, find the Allow Telemetry key, and set it to 0. And sure enough, your settings toggle will gray out. It looks like a total victory. But here is the catch. If you are running Windows Home or Pro editions, setting Allow Telemetry to 0 doesn't actually equal complete silence. Instead, Windows treats that 0 as a security level, which is basically the equivalent of a 1. It enforces a minimum data collection floor rather than severing the connection entirely. The whole system is hardwired to maintain that baseline of reporting, no matter what.
Now, what's really interesting here is when we ground this abstract concept in undeniable technical reality. We can see the exact hard-coded domains Microsoft uses to phone home. Your primary telemetry, that flows straight through vortex.data.microsoft.com. But it definitely doesn't stop there. You've got Microsoft's device directory service endpoints like dds.microsoft.com, you have delivery optimization endpoints, and activity.windows.com handling all your timeline syncs. This whole web of hard-coded endpoints forms what is essentially a massive multi-lane highway for your data.
Let's briefly break down exactly what is traveling on that highway, because it's not just anonymous, boring crash reports. The Connected Devices Platform Service, or CDPS-VC, actively registers your global device ID. That's a highly unique identifier permanently tied to your device. Then there's delivery optimization, which shares update files. That actually reports your unique ID alongside your internet service provider, your city, and your country with every single update cycle. And meanwhile, the activity history pipeline is continuously syncing your application launches and file opens right back to the cloud. Put it all together, and they are exfiltrating a highly specific, uniquely identifiable fingerprint of your personal usage data.
Which naturally leads us to the biggest question of all. So how do we actually stop this data from leaving our machines? We know that UI toggles are essentially placebos for that required data tier. And we know that registry tweaks on standard Windows editions only minimize the flow. They don't eliminate it. So we need to transition from just understanding the problem to implementing real-world actionable defenses. Let's look at the actual toolkit available to privacy-conscious users today.
When we rank the mitigation methods by their long-term durability, you'll notice a pretty clear hierarchy. At the very top, a DNS sinkhole, like a network-wide Pi-hole or AdGuard Home. This is vastly superior because, simply put, a service that cannot resolve its endpoint cannot report. Period. And it works completely regardless of Windows updates.
Next up is editing your local host file to route those specific telemetry domains into a black hole, just sending them to 0000. Third are Windows firewall rules, but honestly, these are fragile. They frequently get confused because Microsoft uses content delivery networks. That means perfectly legitimate services end up sharing IP ranges with the telemetry stuff. And finally, there are specialized open-source scripts like the NoGD toolkit, which automatically block these specific endpoints for you.
Another fantastic angle of attack we found in the research is just killing the service locally. By opening an administrative command prompt, you can manually stop the DiagTrack service and configure it to be completely disabled on startup. You can do the exact same thing via the registry. It's a really direct, brilliant method to stop the daemon right in its tracks. However, and this is a massive however, you have to remain hyper-vigilant. Windows feature updates, those major version upgrades that take forever to install, they frequently act like a giant reset button and quietly re-enable these disabled services. So you have to actively audit your machine after every single major update.
But there's a really important catch to all this that we have to talk about. The research highlights some serious potential collateral damage. Aggressive telemetry blocking is not some magic, consequence-free bullet. If you lock down your network too tightly or accidentally block the wrong shared IP address, you might break Windows Update entirely. You could easily disrupt the Microsoft Store or even inadvertently cripple core features inside Windows Defender. Applying these mitigations to a daily driver Windows machine, it requires a delicate balancing act, a real willingness to troubleshoot, and, as we just mentioned, constant auditing. You are effectively fighting the operating system's natural state.
Which brings us to perhaps the most sobering point in the entire research. Take a second to really process this quote from the source material. Network blocking stops future reporting. It cannot delete data Microsoft already holds. If you sign into your machine with a Microsoft account, your unique identifier already exists on their device directory service servers. Local blocking is merely a tourniquet. It stops the bleeding of future data, but it is not an eraser for the past. It literally cannot undo what has already been aggregated on the server side. So I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought to weigh against your own privacy boundaries. Is the incredible convenience of a modern cloud-connected operating system truly worth this invisible, persistent data trade-off? It's a tough one, right? Only you can answer that for your own digital life, but now at least you have the roadmap to see exactly what that trade-off entails. Thank you so much for engaging with this explainer, and remember, keep asking the tough questions about the technology you use every single day.